Hey folks, welcome back. Here's Matt with 10-Minute Business, reporting as always from my definitely real office, not at all a virtual background. So last time we talked about value propositions. This video, we're going to talk about connecting the value proposition to the segment with the customer relationship that you want to build. So the idea here, again, the Canvas is a storytelling tool. It's about using this canvas literally to tell a story. So when I say that, it means that we want to communicate how we're going to deliver our value proposition to our customer segment. And the relationship component of this is all about what level of quality do your customers expect when they engage with your business, with your value proposition, with your products and services. There's a wide range of value or quality levels here, right? But here's just a couple of categories you can think about. There's likely a pile of different category breakdowns here that you could do when it comes to customer relationships. But since we're talking about a high-tech child's toy, these are the ones that I think are most useful in this category. So generally, you can think about it like levels of quality in the product itself, in your packaging, in your advertising. I don't have that here, but that's also relevant. This is why people on YouTube now, or forever, I suppose, have been doing unboxing videos. It becomes part of the experience. You go out and buy the fancy tech thing, you bring it back home, the box is really fancy, there's a process to opening it up. You get that dopamine hit when you take it out, you get to pull the thing out, and there's little pieces of plastic to peel off the screen or whatever it is. It becomes part of the experience. Companies that understand this do this really well. And I think it adds a level of value and customer relationship there. You can also think about it in terms of the store. You can think about it in terms of the product quality itself, in terms of the product's positioning, on the shelf in the store, where it is, what the other elements of the store would be, like the staff, how they treat people, the way the store is laid out, the way the website is laid out. So again, you could probably make almost an infinite number of descriptions here for customer relationships, but these are the ones I picked for a high-tech kids toy. In terms of customer service levels, I think for our toy, the store needs to look high-tech and expensive. You'll notice I'm basically describing an Apple store at this point, which is fine. The store itself needs to look high-tech. Your staff need to be uniforms. They need to look professional, well-kept, well-groomed. They need to be helpful. They need to appear knowledgeable, but not be pushy, is my guess. Nobody likes a very pushy, commission-based salesperson on the floor. The website needs to match that experience. It needs to look like the future I have here. It's got to be slick. It's got to be polished. Everything needs to be responsive and work right with exactly the right amount of clicks to get to the product. No lost spaces in the website where you can't get out of, you can't find your way back. Needs to be very functional. And the idea here, if you're thinking about the overall picture, is that it becomes a consistent experience for the customer at every point of their relationship. So the experience that they get from the website matches the look and feel and value and quality level of the experience they get in the store, which matches the look and feel and quality level of the experience they get when they bring the box home and they open the box. All of that stuff has to have the same level of quality, because if not, it looks sloppy, right? It makes it feel like a not professional kind of store. Additionally, you want to think about the customer service when it comes to troubleshooting. It's got to be an easy experience. Your staff have to make sure they don't make the customers feel stupid, which everyone does when their tech doesn't work. And same with the warranty. It's got to be no questions asked. It's either got to be fixed immediately or replaced immediately and very hassle-free. That's kind of what people expect. In terms of the product itself, I think in this case, the device needs to be hefty, tough, has to have a really good tactile feel high quality. All of the internal components need to be of high quality as well for the people that care about that. It's a really interesting breakdown there where I would say there's a certain percentage of every product consumer who don't care or don't know what the internal components is. But for the people that know, you need to have something that's good internal components. I have made in blank here. So this is a really interesting one, depending on the level of market penetration you have. If you're selling a local product, then it's important to have it be made locally. Local means different things for different geographic markets, for different customers. Sometimes I'm in Nova Scotia, sometimes made in Nova Scotia is enough. But when you leave Nova Scotia, that doesn't matter anymore. So then it needs to be made in Canada or made in the US or made somewhere else. That's important. So you need to understand your customer to see if that's important. Fit and finish for our product has to be really important, really professionally done, no obvious blemishes. Everything needs to fit together really, really nicely. And it's funny too, since we're talking about basically an iPad, the same kind of product or the same kind of customer would go out and buy a Tesla. And one of the biggest complaints I've heard about Teslas, especially in their early couple of runs, was that the fit and finish didn't quite match their expectations of quality. So sometimes the door panels would have gaps in them, or sometimes the feeling of the interior materials wasn't really high quality. And that was off-putting because people expect Apple quality, right? It's the same kind of customer. This sort of a product should last basically forever, or at least functionally forever, until the user no longer wants to use it. Should have good resale value as well, because that drives your value for money. They need to feel like they're spending a lot of money, so they should be able to get a lot of value from that in all of the ways that we've discussed value already. And again, lots of other ways you could think about this relationship piece, but here's are just some for your conversation. The other point I wanted to make here is that the relationship with the kids is an interesting one, because it's not necessarily about all of the other stuff we talked about, like service levels and customer service, because they're not going to be dealing with that. But if the brand can think about building a lifelong association with that kid, then they have a customer for life. My own personal experience with that, my dad's a mechanic. He's retired now, but once you're a mechanic, you're always a mechanic. And he grew up buying really high quality tools. He'd have Snap-on tools and he'd have Gray tools. He actually liked Gray better, I think. And I'm not a mechanic. I have a couple of tools in my shed, but when I go out and buy tools now, if I don't buy that quality level, because that's what I grew up using and associating with that experience, I feel like I'm cheating myself, which at the end of the day, like a wrench or something for my use could be the cheapest one of all time and it would still be fine. But that relationship is there because it was built from day one. So smart brands will do this intentionally. And I think too, I want to make a note of our product at this point, because the product descriptions and the service level are starting to line up with what I am starting to feel as a very high-end customer, right? The people who want the absolute best of the best. They want the best experience, the best customer service, the best warranty, the best product, the best features, all of that sort of stuff, which is a very particular customer segment that we didn't articulate, I don't think, in our first customer segment video. And this will happen as you build the canvas, things change. And at this point, I would encourage someone, if they were actually building this business, to go back to the customer segment and make sure the product we're describing and the relationship we're describing is still a fit for the customer that we want to serve. Because you can drift and you end up with a quality level that potentially is too high for the customers that you're looking to sell to. So it's about a constant dynamic back and forth with all of these different components. So I've gone and added this in here as well. Next video, what we're going to do is talk about channels. So how do you actually deliver this value to your customers in a marketing capacity and an actual supply chain capacity? So we'll talk about that in the next video. Hope to see you there. See you soon.